Hi there and welcome. Steve Wills here. Thanks for joining me. In this initial video, I would like to give you a glimpse of the surprising power of document-driven process automation. To that end, we'll be developing a relatively simple application, the graphic of which you can see just above me here. An essential element that we want to see in any workflow paradigm is the ability to block the advancement of a document in case, for example, certain information is missing. Another aspect that we want to see is the ability to allocate unique and sequential references to these documents. We want to be able to ensure that there are no documents missing and just to be able to uniquely reference them. Users need to be notified when it's their turn to intervene in the process. Relative to document routing, the basic rule types are manual and automatic. In our particular example, manager can reject a request. You can approve the request, and if the amount is over a certain figure, it will be routed to director. Otherwise, it will be archived directly. Lastly, the manager can send the request back to the author for modification. And to that end, each user will be needed to be provided a control space for comments, as we see here. And of course, each user intervention should be duly recorded in the workflow documents. All right, so let's dive right into it. We'll create a simple workflow. In a notes database, we'll do a notes copy. And here we're going to say anyone can intervene at any step in the process, keeping it simple. We'll first want to indicate the name of the process as it will be known to the end user. The backend notes form will be named otherwise document 01. Let's go ahead and create now the states. $created is always the initial state in this paradigm. And from created, we want to send it off to manager. You'll notice the asterisk with the brackets. That indicates that anyone can intervene. Now from director, we'll create a path to state to be created, archived. And any state which does not have rules associated with it is automatically considered a terminal state, and the document's archived. There are 4 states, as you can see there. So, we'll send one off. You can see anyone can intervene. It's off to state manager. From manager, the document is automatically routed to director, and then archived. Fair enough. Now we'd like to enrich the application by stating that only the designated individuals can intervene at each step in the process. As you can see, orange will be manager and director red. We'll start by creating field documents. This is largely a convenience. We can then select these profiles, roles, constraints as you wish in the state documents and in other areas of Workflow Ascendant, the tool. So the 3 constraints in question are director, manager, and WA author, by default the document author. We now want to insert the corresponding fields in the workflow document form. So manager is created by default. We'll just put in director. And just to show you that no assignments have been made, so those fields are empty, we need to get usernames into those fields. To that end, in this particular example, we're going to use what we refer to as role documents. Here is where we will associate which users correspond to which role. So in our example, director will be red and manager orange, fictitious users that we use in testing workflows. Now we need to get the usernames that are in the role documents into the workflow documents. And we'll use a technique called code abstraction. Here, this is just text that a power user could use, manipulate, and move between states. And there are the assignments. Lastly, what we need to do here is to now say which user profile corresponds to which state. So here what we're going to say is in State Manager, only the users contained in Field Manager can modify the document at that state. And likewise, we'll do the same for Director. Let's see the result. So as you can see, when we forward it to Manager, it was automatically assigned to orange. Now on to red. And archived. We did mention earlier that we'd like to block the workflow document. For example, if a certain condition isn't met or is met, we're going to use an identical procedure, except this time we're going to use code abstraction, except when the user selects the Send button. We're still in the initial state. We're going to create a new routine this time. We'll call it Control Test. You can see it there. And we'll now, in Domino Designer, we want to add to a subroutine call. And here is where we'll make the connection between the text that the power user can use in the state document to the actual call to the subroutine. And to see the result, there it is. We do want to automatically assign unique and sequential references to workflow documents. Normally do this when a document is first launched into the process. And that will be what we define here. We'll simply indicate the process name. I'll put in a different prefix. We refer to these documents as reference documents, surprisingly. And here's the result. Now, Workflow Ascendant will automatically log the intervention of each user in the process, regardless. What we'll be doing here is adding a bit more of a description that will be a bit more descriptive for end users. So rather than indicate the state, what we want to indicate here is something that will be a little bit more useful. You can see the historical description there, so that when that rule is executed, it will be updated. So that's what it looks like without changes. In here with changes, as you can see, it's much more descriptive and helpful. We do want to send an email to the next users in the process when a workflow document is advanced. You can see an example in the upper right-hand corner. Now, 90% of these emails are identical. We want next, hey, we're waiting for you to intervene. So we want to make these as simple as possible. So as you can see here, we just indicated *n, which is the next users. And here, all of these defaults were supplied. Where did they come from? They come from a parameter document here. And this is basically an @formula statements that you can change as you so see fit. And here's an example of an email that you might send when a document is archived. And of course, once again, it's the @formula language. We do want to have areas that are dedicated to each user where they can dialogue with one another. But first, we're going to add two new states to be modified and withdrawn. And you notice I just copied these in. This is one of the great advantages of a document-driven system, in that we can simply copy and paste between applications, for example. Now, we do need to make a connection. This is a linked list, after all. So we want to make a link between manager and to be modified, like so. So we do have a robust checking system here. So as you can see here, that definitions are at least syntactically correct. And now we'll just be copying actions. Actions is a very powerful mechanism that is used to, for example, update the fields on the left with @formula statements on the right when a particular path is taken in the workflow. Now this is just one example of using actions. This is creating these dedicated controlled areas, and you just follow that pattern. Update the numbers on the left with a slight modification of text on the right. So we'll just finish off copying and pasting these actions, and let's give it a test. So the manager here will enter some copies and enter some comments, send it back to the author for modification. And as you can see here, the author cannot modify the comments of the manager, and so on and so forth. Rule types, the major types of document routing, we're talking about manual and automatic. As we get into that, we're going to first create our last state, rejected. And just as we did in the previous step, we need to create a path from manager to rejected. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward in how to do that. So manager to rejected. And there we go. And now we need to replace the existing manual path to director with the automatic rules, the if then else. So we'll add 2 automatic statements. And here we need to indicate that it's just manager, because we can have multiple profiles that intervene in the same state. So just manager, going to the different states. And now we need to add the rule. It'd be nice if we put this on one line, but it's kind of constrained to the screen. And very important, we need to add aliases. Without aliases, simply, automatic routing cannot exist. Because if you're selecting the state itself, it makes no sense. I mean, it's not automatic. You're selecting it. So as you can see here, we are actually saying approved for those 2 states, and the system will automatically route based on the conditions in the document. So now we'll go through the various permutations. We're cheating here. We're copying and pasting documents. You'd normally not allow that, of course. We're lazy. Okay, so here we've gone over to the director as opposed to the being archived directly. We'll send it now back to the author for modification. And there we have it. So just taking a quick look back from what we've just seen, we started looking at field documents. Not only do they help in selecting in the state documents, but we do require that for real-time delegation. We don't address that here. Role documents, we're assigning users to roles. It's one way of doing it. Reference documents, same idea. We're assigning references. And here's where we indicate the constraint, the profiles of those who can intervene. Using code abstraction, we brought users into the document, for example, only one example. And on send, we actually control the contents of the document. This particular configuration, that led to this dialog box when the send button was selected. So if approve is selected and total is less than 500, just walking through the rule, the log is updated with that information. This email is sent. You see, this is the archive email that we saw earlier. And those fields are updated with these values. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you found it to be helpful and interesting. Please stay tuned for future videos where we'll be rapidly amping up the complexity. Thanks so much for joining me.